New year, new me is not a thing I say. I don't go in for resolutions because I act dumb right before they start. Real Fat Tuesday kind of behavior, you know, like diet starts Monday, better eat like Joey Chestnut this weekend. But I am excited about what the world of entertainment and pop culture has in store for us this year. Today, let's look ahead at 3 categories. Stuff I'm genuinely excited to see, stuff I'm genuinely excited to see and make fun of on YouTube, and cultural stuff that I'm excited to see in a morbid curiosity kind of way. Let's hop in, because unlike how 2024 looks to be shaping up, I don't want this video to be mid or chuggy. Let's kick it off with a fun one that I don't expect to be amazing, but gets points because, like most nerds, I've got a big old man crush on Henry Cavill.
Pause.
Pause? Pause what?
You said something gay, so you gotta say no homo.
That's Argyle. First, I'm dying to see Cavill pull off this hairstyle. But also, this one just looks like a really good time, and might be a bit deeper. Bryce Dallas Howard is an author who writes about a secret agent Argyle, but she has somehow written exactly what a spy agent is doing in the real world, and some bad people are out to get her to see what she knows. Dua Lipa is in here, John Cena, Sam Rockwell. The trailer says, once you know the secret, don't let the cat out of the bag, which could be a reference to a big twist, or maybe it's just because there's a cat in the movie. It looks like a good action-y movie that is walking the line between taking itself too seriously and leaning too hard into spoofing spy movies. I'm looking forward to it, and it's out February 2nd, so not long to wait. Hey, it would be bussin' if you would hit that like button. No, I can't. This isn't working for me.
No, sir, I don't like it.
Obviously, Beyond the Spider-Verse is on this list. The final entry in the Spider-Verse trilogy that I'm not sure anyone knew was a trilogy until the end of the second movie. I am very excited to see where these characters end up because I actually give a crap about these people, which is a refreshing change in cinema lately. In the summer, I decided to take a contrarian stance and say Hobie might be satire of hipster activists. I think I'm in the minority on that one, and it doesn't help that Schnee took the opposite stance and made a much better video all around, and it's really well analyzed, but I'm not bitter, but who's bitter? You're bitter, is what I think. Anyway, Phil Lord says it's going to have a very satisfying ending, and obviously, Miles is going to be the hero, and his choice will be the morally correct one, but I'm very hopeful that Lord and Miller bring some interesting moral argument to the situation. I don't want Miguel to just be selfish, and his motives are awful. Someone is going to die, and my guess is that Miguel makes the sacrifice in order to stabilize the multiverse or something. Very excited to see what happens with Gwen and Miles, and especially Spot. I also want more Nick Miller. Peter B. Parker. No release date, and it was supposed to be March, so that's not a great sign. Just come out already. Come on.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Hey, come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on.
Out this spring is a more serious one that I'm looking forward to, and that's Mickey 17. Before I see this, I need to check out another movie, Parasite, by same writer Bong Joon-ho, which I've heard high praise for. Robert Pattinson plays the title character, who is an expendable, being sent out on dangerous space missions because if he dies, they can regenerate him with his memories mostly intact. I like sci-fi, I like the possible existential crisis Pattinson might be having here, I like the possibility for some space action. You got Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, and Steven Yeun are in this. I'm really excited. And congrats to Yen for escaping from the sinking ship that is Marvel. There's this other one called Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It's Guy Ritchie. Enough said. Oh, you want more? How about it's a movie about a group of guys who covertly strike at the Nazis behind enemy lines? Yes! It's Inglourious Bastards, but Guy Ritchie style. And it's starring Alan Reacher Richson, and more of Henry Warhammer Cavill, and Carrie Despero Elwes. Look at Henry's mustache.
Pause.
This is going to be outstanding, and I want to give you a release date, but it's TB frickin' A.
I want it. Come on, give me it. Give me it. Give me it. Come on, give me it.
Last year I was on a stream with the smooth-voiced Echo Chamberlain, and he was asking about the best films of the year because he's a film guy, and I was a little embarrassed because I don't watch a lot of films. I watch movies. I review Disney properties. I have a bunch of kids, so I watch family entertainment. I do the 6-kid review. This year, I aim to change that. I am going to make sure my viewing diet contains some films. The guys recommended Anatomy of a Fall, Tetris, and Blackberry from last year, so I'm going to catch up on those. But this year, I'm going to see a couple of biopics, both by Angel Studios. I like this studio. I like their mission. And in the spring, they're putting out Cabrini, which is about Saint Francesca Cabrini, an Italian woman who comes to New York in the late 19th century on a mission from the Pope to help poor Italian immigrants and orphans. She attempts this while facing sexism and anti-Italianism. That's coming out on International Women's Day, but I doubt it will be overly celebrated. The other biopic from Angel Studios is Bonhoeffer, about Dietrich Bonhoeffer, a pastor in Nazi Germany who stayed behind to resist the regime and was ultimately martyred. His life is a powerful story of faith, and from the trailer, it looks like they're going to make it into a thriller drama exploring what a pacifist pastor will do in the face of violent evil. It's coming out in the fall, which gives you plenty of time to read The Cost of Discipleship by Mr. Bonhoeffer. Page 1, sentence 1. This man is throwing theological elbows. Honorable mentions go to Ballerina. That's a John Wick thing. Looks cool as hell. Also, Spellbound will be on Apple Plus. That is John Lasseter's first full animated film under his entire control since he left Pixar. And finally, Arcane Season 2 is going to be amazing. You know it, I know it, the American people know it. What else is there to say? Paul, how many ways can I say that Arcane is astoundingly good?
There must be 50 ways.
50 at least. Now, I don't get a lot of time to spend on gaming anymore, as that hobby has been largely replaced with writing, filming, and editing, but I still do find some time. I don't cover them a ton right here, now, but maybe the vacuum left by MatPat will give me an opening. Huh? This year, I'm excited about the anniversary edition of Braid. Now, I love this game, The Witness, and the mind behind it is Jonathan Blow. His previous creation was Braid, and while I sadly know the twist plot, I never experienced it, and it's coming this year to Switch and Netflix Mobile. In addition to puzzle games, I also love Souls games. I'm still working my way through Lies of P, and I'm going to need to hurry up because Black Myth Wukong is coming in the summer, and it looks incredible. Also, if we all gather together and chant the incantations correctly and offer the right blood sacrifices, Miyazaki might bestow upon us the Elden Ring DLC when it drops, and I'm not making videos for a week or two. You know what happened. I have a bleed build in New Game Plus that is just dying to be tested against new foes. Lastly, this isn't a release but an early access thing. Hades 2 is coming to early access in the spring. Sometimes a developer is so good, you will give them all the time and trust they need because you know it's going to be right. FromSoft is one, Larian is one, and another is Supergiant Games. Transistor, Bastion, Pyre, Hades, their track record is 100%. Snoop, how would you describe it?
Then I'm like, this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
Speaking of people who don't miss, my last bit of excitement is that Stormlight Archives Book 5 is dropping later this year. And you're gonna hear it drop. It will make a very loud noise because it's gonna be like a 400,000 word tome. Branderson and concise don't go together. So there are some entertainment properties which I am giddy with excitement to experience. Sadly, a lot of this year looks very middling. Selfishly, I have to confess that as a YouTuber, that's very bad. There are so many remakes, reboots, sequels, and prequels this year. It's just a dearth of creativity, and I think it's going to kind of suck, but not suck enough to make interesting videos about. Let's be honest, when something is absolute trash, it's very fun to laugh at it together. When something is amazing, it's very fun to talk together about and analyze why is it so great? Like these Arcane and Airbender reviews I'm still scripting for. When something is average, it's not even fun to talk about. What are we gonna say about the Detective Pikachu sequel? It's gonna be very okay. Maleficent 3? Mufasa? Extremely average. Despicable Merchandising 4? Yawn. Even Deadpool 3 is going to have a tough time doing subversive meta comedy on its parent company that is down so bad right now it's not even fun to poke at them. And how am I supposed to talk about these? Like, hey, you won't love it, but you also won't hate it. So if you go see this movie, then you will have seen a movie. The views will just come rolling in. On a positive note, I won't have to review them at all, which leaves me open to talking about more interesting things beyond whatever Disney has pumped out this week. I'm thinking analyze older movies, maybe books, maybe games. The possibilities are endless.
So many activities! Do step class? It's making my head spin how many activities we can do.
But this next section is the guilty pleasure section. These are the shows or movies that I am personally excited about because they will be hilarious video fodder as we are entertained, not by them, but by laughing together at their awfulness. If there is one thing that 2023 proved definitively, it is that people are getting very tired of performative diversity. The honeymoon period is over for projects whose only selling point is, hey, you know that popular story that features a white man? Well, we told the exact same story, but we cast a non-white woman. And she's going to state that she is a woman multiple times throughout the thing, and then punch patriarchy in the face. We got duped a few times, but now it's become quite clear that there is no character here, no story, nothing of quality, just the spectacle of a gender or race swap, and we, the audience, are supposed to be so stupefied from the subversive sucker punch of this amazing, original idea that we don't notice the lack of actual writing. Well, the chickens are home to roost, and The Marvels was the final nail in the coffin for the idea that gender representation is going to draw in droves of women to see MCU movies. Right on the heels of the flaming wreckage that was that movie's opening weekend, Sony released a trailer for Madame Web. Yeah, it's kind of a lady Spider-Man, and she can see the future. Oh, and she has 3 smart-mouthed teen girls with her. Oh lord, somebody got fired for putting this out on November 15. The dialogue sounds like trash, the premise is terrible, even the cinematography looks basic. Am I going to see this? Yes. Only so I can make fun of it for your entertainment? Also yes. Star Wars shows have had a pretty bad run lately. Kenobi got initial views because, come on, it's Obi-Wan, but then fell off when the audience realized A, it wasn't good, and B, it was Reva's show. Book of Boba Fett was a breadcrumb trail of member berries designed to keep you distracted long enough to cross the finish line of each episode without realizing how much of your time had been wasted. Mandalorian Season 3 was so bereft of story, they had to put in a sci-fi detective noir filler episode that culminated in meeting Lizzo and Jack Black. And they weren't even playing Star Wars characters, they were just themselves. Finally, Ahsoka is a show I didn't even finish, and I was supposed to be watching it for review purposes. It was extremely fine. So with all that baggage hanging around the neck of Lucasfilm, they really need a banger. Whoa, wait a minute. There's a show set in the High Republic era. That sounds promising. I'm a little tired of this massive universe that only seems to involve these 2 families, the Skywalkers and the Palpatines, both alike in dignity, and fair Coruscant, where we lay our scene and Jedi blood makes Jedi hands unclean. So the Acolyte is about a Sith infiltration into the Jedi and how the High Republic era ended and maybe the rise of Darth Plagueis, I think. Details are extremely scarce on what the plot is, but we do know that it will be influenced by writer-director Leslie Headland's queerness. In an interview about the show, she compared herself to George Lucas, who she doesn't respect, and said that just like his life experiences shaped his writing, so too will her experiences as a queer woman shape hers. I love how she thinks who she bangs is a personality and counts as life experience. Unless you're writing romantasy, it's not relevant. She also thinks Lucas is overlauded as part of the auteur myth, which is inherently misogynistic according to her, and oh my lord, this show is going to be a preachy mess.
Wake me when the show starts.
It's already been on a while.
Wake me when it's over.
I personally think this will be the worst show of the year because I think it's going to be mean. In one interview, Leslie said the show will not be kind to the Jedi. Basically, it feels like your sister got a hold of your toys and your parents refused to say anything and she's just breaking them on purpose or putting Barbie dresses on them out of sheer spite. We know Velma is going to be crap. We know Rings of Power will be crap. But I think this is going to be bad in a very malicious way. Will I make lemonade from it? Yes. Rings of Power is going to be a YouTube feeding frenzy. Now, admittedly, I'm not a Tolkien superfan. I have never read the Silmarillion. If I try to say it fast, it comes out real bad. But I do have these very well loved 1977 Ballantine paperbacks. They're beautiful, and yeah. I did not know what the Numenorians were supposed to be like, but I still knew the writing was bad. I did not know what the book background was for this show, and I could still tell the motivations and dialogue were trash. I do know The Wheel of Time, and I saw how they desecrated that series. So I have some idea of how Tolkien fans are feeling about what Amazon has done with Rings of Power. It's going to be a bad show, period. And I will be there, laughing at it with you. Now, Velma has a special place in my heart. Almost a year ago, to the day, Velma dropped, and a younger Greg with only 900 subs watched it and talked about it, and a few days later, he had 6,000. The week this video drops, it's all but certain we will be 40,000 strong. And I really wish I had a cool 40K reference to put here, but I'm just going to sound ignorant, I'm sure. Something about an emperor. Like, I am certain I've heard people talk about an emperor. So I owe Mindy Kaling a thanks for getting me monetized due to her writing a show that was so horrible, people tuned in to watch me make fun of it. Hey, come on in here real quick. Let's get mushy for a second, because you guys are the ones that really deserve the thanks. The time that you take out of your day to watch me be goofy, the great conversations that we get to have in the comments, hopefully in the future in a more face-to-face type thing, the ideas that you feed me, just everything about you guys is why this channel continues to grow and continues to be so enjoyable, and I love doing it. So thank you very, very much. My prediction is that it won't be as dramatic this time around, but we are still going to have a fun time talking about its awfulness. I think it's a bit expected at this point, though. Like, we all know how bad it's going to be, so it's just going to be a confirmation. Like, yeah, it really was that bad. Rings of Power actually had people's hopes up, and they were dashed. Acolyte is going to be bitter and spiteful. Velma is a known quantity kind of bad, but we're still going to have some laughs. Lastly, I'm interested to see what will happen to Disney, as it is a major windsock for culture in entertainment. They have delayed a fair amount of their projects because the audience, for multiple reasons, is very tired of them. Disney's been banking on performative diversity as a selling point for some time, and it seems to be less effective these days. Disney is an interesting example because not only are they a gigantic company, they went deep into social politics, tying them to the core values as a company. Where other companies offer lip service to whatever movement was popular, but still remain a business, Disney jumped into the culture war, especially when they publicly sided against the Florida Parents' Rights in Education bill, which opponents labeled the Don't Say Gay bill. This is a worrisome precedent because it means the whole culture war idea is spreading to every facet of our lives. It's already consumed politics, entertainment is infested with it, but with few exceptions, whole businesses don't tend to declare themselves for one side or another. Personally, I want to see this whole thing blow up in Disney's face because I don't think a parallel economy is a good idea, and that is exactly where this leads. Fortunately, Disney is taking hit after hit, and it seems like it's because consumers, conservative and liberal alike, want them to provide the service of magical, innocent childhood memories, not commentary. It will be very interesting to watch what Bob Iger does, what Peltz, Perlmutter, and other activist investors do, and what consumers choose regarding Disney. So 2024 is shaping up to be another interesting year, and we don't even know what unprecedented event will happen yet. What weird Titanic sub type thing will capture our attention for a week at a time? What celebrity drama will happen? What drama could possibly rival the Cat Williams tea-spilling extravaganza? What are your predictions for the year? What are you excited to see, read, or play? What do you want to see burned to the ground while you dance around its ashes? Let me know. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.